faith, you didn't have to have done something for him to know you could do something. And I think that was a gift that he gave to all of those who worked with him closely, was that you have the ability within you to do great things. He believed it without hesitation.
And expected it?
And expected it, demanded it, you know? And so it was like having the ultimate teacher. You rose to the occasion because you knew the expectation was not for failure. The expectation was for success, always.
That is a gift.
Yeah.
That is a
And
gift.
you take it into all of your other careers, everything you do, you become fearless.
Wow.
Because that's what he was. Maynard Jackson was fearless. He was willing to stand up for whatever he believed when it was necessary and without regard for the consequences to himself.
That's pretty strong.
It's a fact.
Now, are there many people that you've met
Like him?
like that?
No.
So he was unique. And
He was absolutely unique. Not only, I mean, he was smart too. I mean, you know, I know other people have said how smart he was, but he was so quick on his feet. If asked a question by a reporter that had nothing to do really with the conversation at hand, he would weave it in and just, you know, respond in a way that was surprising to most people. An orator. We have had few people to follow Maynard Jackson who could speak. So when I talk about him filling a room with a presence, I would hate to have been an elected official trying to compete in the same arena, because I represented him at the United States Conference of Mayors and other places because I was Director of Federal Relations in the first term. And when he would walk into a room, all the other mayors seemed to pale by comparison.
Wow.
You know, so he was physically large, but his personality was larger. And so then you get this bright smile, this winning handshake, and these piercing eyes that just directed himself into whatever conversation he was in.
So did you ever feel that he was distracted by other things, or was he just someone who was present in the moment?
No, he was focused.
He was focused.
He always knew what his objective was. And he expected his staff to know it and to be working towards that end.
So where do you think that came from?
It must have come from his grandfather.
So,
Because his grandfather was his mentor, John Wesley Dobbs. I mean, he loved him dearly. When it came time to name something after himself, he gave it up to name the street after his grandfather.
and so that was a discussion that he had with staff, or he just announced
no.
it one day?
Oh, no. You mean that his grandfather was his mentor?
Or that he would name a street?
Oh, no.
No discussion?
No discussion. I'm sure he always knew.
He always knew.
Yes.
And he just let the world
And
know.
he waited for the opportunity to have where the street was being renamed. It had renovation, and it was a street that cross-sect with, it was formerly Houston Street, and it became John Wesley Dobbs, and it connected with Sweet Auburn, which was the street his grandfather had dubbed Sweet Auburn, which was in fact Auburn Avenue. The
How
center
did you
of
meet
Black
Maynard
Congress.
Jackson?
I met him in 1968 when he was running for the Senate.
Did you really?
I did.
So what was he like then?
The same. He was a presence. I mean, he was young, vivacious, and he just was fearless. I mean, to take on Herman Talmadge, I forget how old he was, but he was in his maybe early 30s. To take on Herman Talmadge, the stalwart of the Senate, you know, and to campaign throughout Georgia, which was barely desegregated at the time.
In 1968.
Yeah.